Again, guys, assalamu alaikum. This is C programming lecture number 10. This lecture talk about something called arrays, and I will talk about two-dimensional arrays because we have 3D and 4D dimension arrays and so on. So we'll take just 2D dimensional arrays. Now, in this example, as you see to the right of my display, we have a data as a table. The left column represent the month number, and we started the month number, as you see here, from 0, not from 1, and the last month, which is December, it's 11, not 12. We can do that. Just we are indexing the month number from 0 to 11, and also again I told you we can start from 1 to 12. So it's up to you. It's kind of indexing, okay? Now for January, the rainfall is 30 millimeter. In February, 40. March, 45. April, 95, and so on. Now we want to declare a variable that can hold all of these data. We are talking about the rainfall data. The rainfall data. You know that the first one represents the rainfall data for the January, the first month, with index 0. The 40, the second one, it is the rainfall data for the next month, which is the February, and so on, with index 1. So my question to you all, if you remember, when we declare as example, when we declare integer, like this, integer, okay, equal, or say that we have t as example, equal 5. Okay, now this is an integer variable. The variable name is t, the type is integer, it can hold just one value. Okay, this is semicolon here. Now when we say that t equal 11 as example, okay, now the new value, it will delete the old value. Why? Because this is just one variable, and the variable can hold just one value. So in our case here, guys, we have 12 data. We have to keep them in one variable. We can't do it using a normal variable. So I will not select the normal variable. I will use the concept of the arrays. Where is the image? Okay. Now, guys, how can I do that? It's simply, we can select a name, rain, an array with name of rain, and the data inside the rain could be float, could be integer, it's up to you. Say that we have integer, so I can write integer like this, integer, give the array name as rain, okay, and now we want to indicate the size of the array. Now the size of the array in our case here is 12. That's it. Integer rain 12. Now this rain array, it is not a one variable, it's an array of multi values, so we can hold more than one value. Now as you see, we have 11 places. In the first index, which is 0, we are pressing 30. In the second one, which is 1, 40, and so on. Now, how can I declare or define? How can I define it using the array? I will say we can write again here. We can write r equal, sorry, rain, not r, rain equal to, we can open the brace like this. The first one is 30, followed by 40, then we have 45, okay, then we have 95, and so on until reach the last one, which is 45 for the December. Now we will close the brace and semicolon here. Okay, this is how we can declare the array. Now guys, if I want to change, as example, I want to change the value of the rain in month, which is August. For the August, the index is 7. Why 7? Because we started the index from 0. By the way, in C programming, the index for each element in array, the index will start from 0, must. So the first element in the array index is 0 always. Second one is 1, second one is 1, third one is 2, and so on. So if we have n here, the last one will be n minus 1. I'm talking about the index of the value, not the value itself. So if we want to change the value of August, this value, I want to change this value, okay? For the August, we can write here rain and we have to write this rectangle bracket and give or write the index rain of 7. That means the 8th value equals, say that 200. We want to change the value 200 like this. Okay, now what will happen? The compiler will go to the index number 7. It will delete the old value, this value, and it will become 200 like this. Okay, now this is how we can get and set the array element. We have to use the rectangular bracket and the index of that element. Now the problem in arrays, guys, the printf and scanf don't know about arrays. That means if you want to ask user, as example, give me the first rainfall and second rainfall, or second month rainfall and third month, we can't let the printf and scanf understand what we want. So we have to do our own algorithm. We have to write our own code to read these amounts using loops. In this example, guys, the loop, in this example, the loop, it needs an index. The index should be start from 0 to 11 because we have 12 elements. So how we can do that? Let me go to the child, and at the beginning we have to declare it. We can write integer, say rain with size of 12. This time we don't know how much the rain fall for each month. We want to ask user enter the rainfall. Surely also we need a counter to go from one month to another month. Say the counter is I. Now we will write a for loop. In this for loop, the counter will start from I equal to 0. Why 0? Because in C programming, by default, the first element index should be 0. This is must. So always the last element will be number of elements minus 1. I'm talking about the index. And I should be less than or equal to 12. Actually, this is not true because the index starts from 0. It should be excluded the 12 because the last index here, as you see, the last index is 11, not 12. So we can write 11 here or keep it 12 but remove the equal. That's it. And then I incremented by 1. Now we have to start the loop, end the loop. What we are trying to do inside the loop, I'm trying to ask user please enter rainfall for the first month, second month, and so on. So we will print message, print a message. This message is, please, as example, please enter the rain for the month, for month number, say that month number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. How can I make number 1 or print number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4? We need to reserve a space for an integer here. So we can write %d and then go to next line. Now from where I will get this number? This number, it is the value of the counter, say I. But when I use I, it will display a message, and this message, it is not a clear message. Why? Because it will say that please enter the rain for the month number 0. I can't understand what is the month 0, so it should be 1. But unfortunately the index in arrays starts from 0, but we can fix it by adding 1 to I here, just to print a message, and this message should be clear. That's it. So for I equals 0, it will print please enter the rain for the for month number, for month, say month number 1. When I equal 1, it will say month number 2, and this is correct. Now we want to scan the value entered by user. We will use scanf, scan. I want to scan a value. This value, it's a float, sorry, it's an integer. I will scan it and give it to what? I will save it inside the rain. Inside the rain. Where is exactly inside the rain? In the first index, second index, third location, fourth location. Which one? It depends on the value of I. When I equals 0, I'm saving rain of 0. Rain of 0, it will be 30 here. If the user enter 30. I'm talking about different example now. I don't know the values. I want the user to enter the values. Okay? That's it. Now once we finish the loop and run the program will save the rainfall for each month entered by user in the rain array. Now again, as I told you, the problem here, if I want to print the values again, let me print a message to show you that these are the rain, these are the rainfall, the rainfall entered by user, as example. And we can write here a double dot like this, and quotation like this, and in the function semicolon. And now we will go back and we want to print them. To print them again, the print, it does not know what is the arrays, so it will deal with it as a one value. But if you want to print all of the array elements, we have to write our own loop. We can write another loop, Ctrl C, Ctrl V here. I will copy the same loop, but we don't have scan here. I want just to print the values, so I will print the first value, second value, third value. Now let me keep just one space, or if you want a table in a column, you can write next line like this, from where I will get the value of this integer. It is the rain, so I can write the array name and its index. Now when I equals 0, I want to print rain of 0. When I equal to 1, rain of 1. So it depends on the I value. Now run the program to see what will happen. Please enter the rainfall for first month. Guys, to minimize the effort, let me stop the program and make it just for 4 months only, because it's very long to do for 12 months. Say 4 months only. This should be 4 also. Here should be 4, and here should be 4. Now run the program again, just for the first 4 months. Say that it will be 30 as in the table. It will be 40 for the next one, 45 for the next one, 95 for the last one. 4 means 5, yes. Now please enter the rain for first month, second month, third month, fourth month. No, there is a mistake. Yes,
not 4.
Yes, we did a mistake here. 42, yes, should be 4 here. by mistake. Again, stop the program, run the program again, enter the first one 30, then 40, then 45, then 95, and it should stop now. Yes, see, please enter the rain for the month number 1. This is why I used I plus 1. I is a counter and it represents the index of the array, element of the array, and by default the index, by definition, the index of the first element in any array should be 0, must. Okay, this is why I wrote here plus 1 to print a clear message. And see, these are the rainfall entered by user: 30, 40, 45, 90, and thank you so much. This is for the first example. Now we will do this example using arrays. Write a C program to find the average of n marks given by user, and this is the sample output. User will enter 5. If it is 5, we will say enter number 1, a grade number 2, grade number 3, and so on. We will find the average at the end. So we have to declare an integer called n, and we want to declare the array called, as example, marks. The size of the array, it depends on the value entered by user, which is n, and we need the counter to go from one index to another one, from one element to another one. We did the mistake here because marks size is n and n not defined yet, so we have to define the value of n first. So I will cut this code and I will print message for user, tell the user to enter, prompt user to enter the value of n. So please enter number of grades, please enter number of grades. Okay, say that it is n, and then we can go to next line, semicolon here. Now we want to scan the value of n. So it is an integer, so %d, the integer will be saved in n. Now we know the value of n. Now I can paste the code. If you remember, declaring the array, we can say that integer or float, it's up to you, integer marks of n. Now n, we know the value of n, we can define marks of n. Now I want to ask user to enter the first grade or mark, second mark, third mark, and so on. So we need a loop to go from one element to another element. The for loop counter, it's I, and by default it should be, the first element should be index 0. Can I start from 1? Yes. Can I start from 2? Yes. But because the first element index is 0 and I started from 1, we should fix it inside the algorithm, inside the for loop, by writing marks of I minus 1. But no need, just start from 0 because the first index is 0. I should be less than n, and I plus plus to go from one to another because I incremented by 1. Inside the loop we'll print message and scan again. Okay, so let me copy this code, paste it here just to save time. Please enter grade number, please enter grade, a grade number, say number 1, number 2, number 3. How to do that? We just reserve a space for integer here. From where I will get this integer? From the value of I. And I told you to print here, as you see, please enter number 1 or grade number 1. The first I is 0. To make a good message, to write or print a good message, it's preferred to say that I plus 1 because the first index element is 0 and the first element will be element number 1. So it is I plus 1. And then scan the grade and save it inside the marks, array. Where exactly inside the marks array? Is it in first location, second location? It depends on the I value. So when I equal to 0, we are reading marks of 0. When I equal to 1, marks of 1. And don't forget the and here, like the regular variable. Now we know the values of marks. We want to calculate the average. To calculate the average, guys, we have to calculate the sum. First, let me declare the average and sum. So we can declare the sum as m like this, okay? And the average, because average should be float or double, let me say double average AVG as example like this, okay? Now to find the average, we have to, so we want to now to find the sum first. Now my question, can we read or calculate the sum in the same for loop, or we need individual for loop? Actually, we can do both of them. At the beginning, let me do it in individual loop. So I will write for. So to go from one element to another, we need a loop. I start from 0 because the first element index is 0. I should be less than n, and then I plus plus. Okay, how can I find the sum? We can write as example the new sum equal the old sum. By the way, initial value of sum 0 plus the marks array of I. That means when I equal to 0, take marks of 0, add it to the sum. Then I equal 2, add the sum, and so I equal 1, sorry. Then 2, then 3, and so on. So once we finish the summation outside the loop, not inside the loop, because we want to finish adding marks together, then we can find the average. The AVG equal to the final sum divided by number of marks, which is n, like this. Now sum is integer, n is integer. It's better to multiply sum by 1 as a float to make it as a float, because if we keep it sum as integer divided by n as integer, we will lose the fractions, decimal places. So I want an accurate average, so multiply it by 1 because sum is integer and n is integer, and 1 it should be not an integer, should be as a float, like this. Run the program. Please enter number of grades, say that 5 grades only. Grade number 1, 23. Grade number 4, number 5. See the average now calculated by the program, but we forgot to print the final value of the average. So I will print the average. We can say that average is, reserve a space for a float or double, not a float, and say that I want it in 5. The width is 5 from left with 1 decimal place. Then go to next line. This is quotation, semicolon, from where I will get the value of the average from the AVG variable, like this. Now the second.
Professor?
Yes.
Professor, I have a question. For the sum, aren't we supposed to like declare what the value of the sum is?
What do you mean?
Like how's it okay, for marks I, it can tell like it knows what the value of marks are, right? Because we're gonna type it in.
See, at the beginning integer n I sum, so initial value is 0 here. Okay, now in the loop it will start from I equal to 0. Then it will go I less than n. Yes, it will go inside the loop. The sum, the new sum equal the old sum, it was 0, plus marks of I is 0, marks of I, it's the first grade. Then I become 1 less than n. Yes, so the sum, the new sum equal the old sum plus the new grade. Then I equal to 2 less than n. Yes, then the new sum equal the old sum plus the new grade, and so on.
Okay.
Once we finish the loop, we have the final value of the sum. Now we want to calculate the average of the grades, which is sum divided by n. We multiply it by 1 as a float to convert it from integer to float. Why? I don't want to lose the fractions or decimal places. I want an accurate reading or accurate average. Okay, now the second thing I told you, can I do this one in the same loop of reading? Yes, no problem. So let me show you what I will do. I will just remove the second loop, cut this one, and print it here or write it here like this. That means read the first grade, add the first grade to the sum, read second grade, add it to the sum, and so on until we finish. We can calculate the average. It will work like the previous one exactly, but here we are saving time and processing time and some calculations. So these are 4 grades only: grade number 1, grade number 2, grade number 3, grade number 4. I'll see this is the average. Average is 2.5. Again, write a C program. Example number 2, write a C program to display largest element of an array. And as you see in the output sample here, we have to ask user to enter total number of elements, and this number of elements should be from 1 to 100. That means we have to verify. As we learned before, guys, we have to solve problems step by step. Don't try to solve the problem from the beginning to the end in once. So we need n, so integer n. Surely we have a loop, we need a counter, and we need the largest element, so we can say that LA or LAR, lar. Okay, no need for double of average. I'm trying to fix the previous example. Please enter number of elements, say n, scan the n. Okay, now we know the n. Now we want to declare the array. Say name the array as elements, okay, with size of n entered by user. Now we want to ask user to enter the first one, second one. I told you before that we have to verify that n less than 100 and more than 1. So we can write if statement here, if the n value, in case that the n value less than 1, or the n value greater than 100, that means the n not valid. We want user to enter the value of n again. So what I will do, I will copy the previous print and scan. This is the start of the if, this is the end of the if. In between I will print the code. So as you see here, if this is true, that means n not valid, or this is true, that means not valid. Print and ask user to enter a valid value. We can here say that here 0 less than not 0, sorry, 1 less than or equal to n, and n it's less than or equal to 100, just to remind user that it should be between 1 and 100. And we can write here keep it, no problem, or we can write re-enter just to make a clear message. Re-enter number of elements should be from 1 to 100, like this. And I told you if we use if, it will do it once. What if the user will enter again a number n more than 100? It will take it and do the algorithm and run the code, and this is not correct. So I prefer to use while to keep n valid always. Now before we go to the next code, we have to check our code, run the code. Please enter number of elements, say 0, not a valid value, say 90, 0, so 990, it's not correct. 30 is correct. That means our program run well. Now go to next step. We want to find the largest. Before finding the largest, guys, we have to know what are the elements. I told you the printf and scanf don't know what are the arrays. We have to write our own code. So we need a for loop. So we can write for loop. This loop starts from the counter value I from 0, because the first element index is 0. I should be less than n, not equal, because n itself will be excluded. Last element index is n minus 1. I plus plus. Start of the loop, end of the loop. What I'm trying to do, I will ask user to enter the element, first element, second element, and so on. So what I will do, as you see in the code, just copy paste, and I will edit the code. Please, we can say that enter first element, or element number 1, number 2, reserve a space for integer. This integer is the value of I plus 1, y plus 1, because the first element index is 0. When you want to say first element, I plus 1. Then scan as integer and save it in the array. The array name is element. We forgot to declare the element. So element, okay, of I want to read the first element and save it in the array called elements in the first position. It depends on I. So, but we forgot to declare the array itself. We should declare the array after know the value of n. So verify the value of n. Then we can say that we have integer as example, integer elements with size of n. With size of n, it depends on the user input. With size of n like this. Okay, now we know the value of n before, we can declare it this loop to read the elements element by element. Now let me sure that my code running well without mistakes. Please enter number of elements. It's 5. Element number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Nothing wrong, it's okay. Now the question is how we can find the largest. How we can find the largest. Just to tell you something, it's very important to indicate, as you see here in the declaration, the initial value of largest is 0. Okay, so let me go to here and show you something. I told you the initial value of largest, currently largest equal to 0. Okay, say that we read the first element, second element, third element, fourth element, and imagine that all of them are less than 0. When you compare, say that the first one as example -5, element number 2 with index 1, it's -7 as example, then -1, then -3. What is the largest value? It should be -1, sorry. The largest value here, guys, -1. But unfortunately, because we are comparing the first element with the largest, which is 0, 0 is the largest. Then we will compare 7 to 0, still 0 is the largest. Then we'll compare -1 to 0, still 0 is the largest. And finally, we'll compare -3 to 0, still 0 is the largest. That means the largest will become 0. And 0, it's not one of the elements. And this is wrong. And this is wrong, totally wrong. Why? Because we started the largest from 0. So how can I solve this problem? To solve this problem, guys, see what I will do. I will declare the largest to be the first element. So what I will do now, I will show you what I will do. I will say that the largest equal the first element. I will say that largest equal to the first element. Now you will compare second element with the first element. -5 is largest. Then you'll compare -1 to this one. -1 will become the largest. -1 here, and this will become -5. Then you'll compare -3 with -1. So the -1 will be the largest, and this is true. Okay? In arrays, how can I do the same thing? I say that we know the values of, as you see in the child to the left, we know now we wrote the for loop. We know the elements. The user will enter all of them. So we know the values of the array. Now we want to write a loop to find the largest value. So I will write for, okay, for, we need the counter value to start from 0 because the first element index is 0. Then I will be should be less than or equal, no, without equal, just less than, without equal, just less than, okay, n number of elements inside the array, and then I should be incremented by 1. Okay, this is the start of the loop, this is the end of the loop. I will write later. Here guys, we want to make comparison. We write if, how can I say that the largest equal the first element? We can write if I equals 0, we are in the first element now. That's right. If this is true, what I will do, I will say largest, okay, equal بعدين equal to the first element of the array. Say that the name is A of the array. The name is A of the array, A of I. This is just to say that the initial largest value, it equal the first element in the array. Why? I don't want to start from 0. I don't want to start from 0, guys. Okay, I want to start from the first element. So now let me go back and do it in the shade. Okay, now as you see, we have the values of the elements. Now we want to find the largest. Can I use the same loop of reading the elements? Yes, but let me do it individually now, no problem. Say for I start from 0, I equal to 0, I should be less than n, I plus plus, to go from one element to another element. Okay, now here just we want to say that if, guys, I can write largest, no problem. Let me do it like this. Largest equal the first element. So the first element is what? Elements of 0. The problem here, guys, if I will do this code like this, then write if now the elements of I, if the current element, which is elements of I, greater than largest. If this is true, I want to assign the current number, the current element, to the largest value. So largest equal the current elements. So elements of I. Okay, so largest equal element of 0. I want to start the largest value with 0. Oh, sorry, not with 0. Started from the first element value, which is elements of 0. Then if the current element larger than the largest value, then we have to assign the current element to the largest value. The problem here, guys, when I equals 0, this is done. But when I equal to 1, again, it will go back and reset the largest value to 0 again, to the first element. Then we will get the first element is the largest, and it could be not the largest. This is why I told you we have to write if. This is conditional. If I equal to 0, only just once, set the largest value to be the first element. That's it. Then, خلاص. Once we finish, we want to print the largest value. Ctrl C, Ctrl V here. The largest value, say largest equal, reserve a space for integer because they are integer elements. Okay, go to next line, quotation, I will get from the variable lar, and this is the end. Run the program to show you the result. We have a mistake here. I think this should be capital letter. Lar, yes. Run the program again. It's running well. Now, please enter number of elements. Say that we have just 4 elements. Element number 1 minus 9. Number 2 is 5. 15, 10. It should give me the largest is 15. See, largest equal to 15. Now, as I told you, can I use this loop as example to calculate the largest? Yes, It's easy. Just remove this loop. We can do. Read the element, compare it with the largest, find the largest. That's it. So I will cut this code and like this. Yes, it could be. No problem. If you prefer to make them individual loops, good. If you keep them in one loop, it's good also. You will minimize the time for calculation. So we can use it in the same loop. It will give you the same result exactly, but it will do it step by step. Run the program. As you see, please enter. This is 5 elements. Say this is 12, this is 45, this is minus 9, this is 0, this is 9. The largest is 34, and that's correct. Okay? Now guys, you have to talk about the sorting algorithm. It's a very important algorithm. Here in the previous example, we just found the largest element. The largest element, okay? How if we want to sort the array in ascending or descending way? That means from largest to lowest or from lowest to largest. What we can do? To do that, guys, first of all, let me explain mathematically how we can do it manually or mathematically. Listen to me carefully, okay? Now, as you see in this table, we have an array called num. And these are the values of the array, 10, 20, 40, 10, 80, 70, 50. And we know that, as example, if you want to go from one element to other element in the array, we need counter, say that I. The first element counter is 0. The first element counter value, second element counter value is 1, and so on. So we have 7 elements, the last index is 6, first index is 0. Now guys, how we can do it manually? Imagine that I'm using my 2 hands. The first is the left hand. In the left hand, guys, I will hold the first place, not the number, the place itself. Now, say that the first place is num of I, num of 0. Okay? I want to use my right hand to compare the second with the first, then the third with the first, then this one with this one, then this one with this one, then compare this one with this one, then compare this one with this one. That's right? Now, the holding done by my left hand, comparing done by my right hand. Now, guys, see, the holding, I will hold the first place. While I'm holding, I'm changing my right hand from one place to another. That means my left hand, it is the outer loop, and my right hand, it is the inner loop. When I'm fixing my left hand, I will changing my right hand. It will go from 20 to 40 to 10 to 80 to 70 to 50. Okay, so let me write a loop here, just to show you how we can compare. I will write here a for loop. Okay. Write a for loop. Now I'm holding the first place, so I will say that I equal to 0, and I should be less than how much? I will at the beginning I will hold the first place, comparing, then I will go to next place, comparing, then third place, comparing. So the last one, guys, the last one pushed to the end. No need to compare it with the other elements because it's already pushed to the end. So we can say that n minus 1 or keep it n, no problem. We'll write n here, or in our case 7, no problem. Okay? Then I plus. This is for the holding. Okay? I'm using I for holding, guys. Now I am in the first place. Let me go back to here. We are holding the first place. Okay? I want to compare the first place after the I want to compare the next place with the first one. So I'm comparing 20 with 10. Say that I want to find or sort the array from largest to lowest. Largest to lowest. So I will write if this element larger than this element, if it's true, I will swap the values. 20 will become here and 10 will become here. So we need to go from, if I'm holding the first place, I want to go from second to third to fourth to sixth and so on. So we need another for loop. We will write for loop like this, okay? For. Now we need a counter, another counter, say j. Note, j here guys, see, this is the j. Now I for holding, j for comparing. The j will start from the next position always. So j equal to I plus 1. We will start j from I plus 1. Then j should be less than, then j go from here to here to here to here to here to here. So less than n to the end of the elements, okay? And j plus plus. And then we will start the loop. Now I'm just showing you what is the inner loop, what is the outer loop. The inner loop should start from I equal to 0 in the first element and go to the last element. And this I or I loop just to hold the position. And the second loop, which is the inner loop, it is just to compare the next position with the holded position, next position with the hold position. It will start from next position of I, so j equal I plus 1 until the end. Now what we will do guys, what we will do during the comparison, we are sorting. Remember that we are sorting the array. How we can sort the array guys, I will show you now. Forget that we have a for loop. I'm writing just what's inside the for loop. I will write what is the inside for loop. Now we are holding this place and I want to compare next place with the hold place. So I will compare 20 with 10. Is 20 larger than 10? Yes. That means 20 will become here and 10 will become here. Then I will compare 40 with 10, with 20, sorry. 40 larger than 20? Yes. That means 40 will become at the first position, then 10, then 20. Okay, then I will compare this one with the first position, then this one, then this one, then this one, and so on, guys. So how can I write it? Write if this position, it means the array, say the array name is num. The position itself, it depends on the j value, not the I value, okay? If num of j greater than the holded position, which is num of I, if this is true, guys, what I will do, I will make swap. I will swap. How we can swap? Do you remember? We need dummy variable. We can say that d equal to, we can say that num of j as example, okay? Then num of j, say n of j equal to n num of I, okay? And finally num of I equal to d. This is the swapping algorithm. In child, guys, again, we want to ask user to enter the values. Say that we know the values. No need to enter n, sorry. So say that we know the array values, and let me declare them like this. Say that we have integer array, say num, Okay, the size of the num is 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So we have 7 elements. They are the following. They are 10 followed by 20, then 40, then 10 again, then 80, then 70, and finally 50. Okay, and now we want to write a loop to sort this array. So write a for loop. To hold, we need a counter, say I, start from 0, and I should be less than n minus 1 actually, because the last place, if you remember, see, the last place not compared, because the last element pushed to the last is the lowest. Or we can keep it like this and no problem. It's just an extra step, no need for it. I plus plus. Okay, now we are holding, we are using I to hold. While I'm holding, we need to compare, so I will use another loop, for loop. This loop counter is j, and j should be start. See, when you are holding the first place, you will start comparing with the next one. So j equal I plus 1, then j should be less than n, guys. Okay, now see the j value start from the I plus 1 to the end, so it depends on the number of elements. So 7, and let me delete in here, convert it to 7 better, and here j plus plus. What I'm doing, I will say that now I want to compare if the current element, which is num of j, greater than the holded element, num of I, okay, I will swap. If this is true, I will swap. What I will do, I will say that we have a d dummy variable equal to num of as example, num of I. Doesn't matter if you start from num of I, continue by num of I, say num of I equal to num of j, to swap the values, num of j, and finally num of j equal the d value, num of j. I'm sorry, it's not like this, I'm sorry, we are dealing with arrays. Num of j equal to num to d. Okay, and here should be like this. I'm sorry again, this is a common mistake when we deal with arrays. Good to mention it again. Okay guys, this is how we can do swapping like this. Once we finish the swap and we want to print the values, we need a loop. So let me copy this loop, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Okay, now for say that I starts from 0, I should be less than 7, I plus plus. I want to print the array elements, so I will print a number, Ctrl C, Ctrl V here. Okay, I will print a number which is an integer followed by one space, a second space, like this. Okay, and this is the end of the loop. To show, I can also print a message to show that this is the sorted array. Say that sorted, print just sorted array is like this, and then go to next line to show the array. Let me run the program to show you the result. We have a mistake here. This should be semicolon, not comma. Here we have j not declared yet. We have to declare it. Run the program again. We have another problem, num of j greater than num of I, missing. Yes, It's a common mistake when we deal with arrays. Should be square brackets, not like this. Okay, run the program again. We have another mistake. D not declared yet. We can define and declare D like this. Sort array is. Sorted array is. We forgot to indicate which variable we want to print here. So I will print the num of I. When I equals 0, num of 0. Run the program again and see. Sorted array is 80, 70, 50, 40, 20, 10, 10. Now the question is for you all guys. What if I want the largest number? How can I print the largest number here? Could you please answer? Now the first class work. Please, Leanne, could you please read the question again and tell me what to do step by step?
Okay, so write a C program that declares an array alpha 50.
Array of alpha of 50. Okay, so
Yes.
integer
alpha
50
50
of 50. Very good. Then surely if we have a for loop, we need the I counter. Okay, now next step.
Okay, so the first 25 elements are equal to the square of its index.
So we need to go from one element to another element. We need a loop. That's right.
Yes.
Tell me now. I equal to.
I equals to 0, comma,
semicolon. I should be less than
25.
25 because the last element index is 24. Very good. I plus plus. Now for these elements from index number 0 to index 24, the first 25 elements, what is the value of the element? So we can write alpha of I equal to
is equals to
the square of its index.
So I squared.
Yes, I squared, power of I to 2. And math already included. Very good. Omar, next part, please.
Okay. So the last 25 components are equal to 3 times the index.
So what we should do?
Another for loop.
It's up to you. Another for loop. Okay. We can say
Okay, so
I equal to
I greater than
I equal to 25. That's right. I should be less than.
Greater than 25.
Less than.
Greater than and equal or.
Start I from 25. I should be less than 50. That's right.
Okay, less than 50. Yeah.
Okay, then alpha of I equal what in this case?
3 times the index.
3 times I.
3 times I.
Very good. Now you told me one loop or 2 loop. Yes, we can use 1 loop, by the way. Cut here, okay, and paste it here, but should be conditional. How? Yeah, Omar, tell me. First of all, I should start from 1 until 50. That's right.
Yeah.
And then if the value of I less than 25, this is true. Else
multiply by 3.
Yes, very good. Like this. Okay, we can do it in 1 loop, but don't forget to change the counter initial value and end value. Yes, we can do that. Okay, now next, Rao.
Yes, Professor.
Next one. Next part.
Output the array so that 10 elements per line are printed.
Okay, let us output the elements. Forget 10 elements. Okay. Get out. Continue.
Okay. Output the array so that 10 elements.
Now
So,
we want to output them. Just output them. How we can output them?
Well, I forgot.
say that we know the elements, all of the elements. Now we got them. We need to print the array elements. You need a loop, that's right, for, say that the same counter I start from 0, I should be less than,
and then I less than 50.
Than 50, very good, and then I plus plus. Okay, just print, that's right, print. We want to print the values.
So,
okay, they are integers, so I will print an integer.
percentage D.
Okay, percentage D. So say followed by 1 space, 2 space. Okay, from where I will get this element from?
From I.
No, we are printing the array elements. What's the name of the array?
Oh, alpha. Sorry.
Alpha. Which element in alpha? It depends on I value. That's right.
Yeah.
That's it. Just let me run the program. Not saved yet. Let me save the program first. Okay, run the program. See, it is 0, 1, 4, 9, and so on and so on. All of them in one line. Okay, this is done. My question to Kareem. Okay, Omar, can we print the elements in the same loop? The first loop here. Omar? Yes.
Yes, we can.
Cut here. Okay, define the element, then print it, no problem. No need for this loop. خلاص. So read the element, print it, and then go to next element, print it, and so on. That's right? No problem. Now the question is, how we can print just 10 elements? Just 10 elements in each line. Okay, let me show you. The elements are, as you see, let me take part of them, okay? The first element is 0, then 1, then 4, then 9, then 16, then 25, then 36, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 36, 7, 8, 9, 10, 81, okay? 81, the last in the first line. So guys, now the I index, here it is 0, here it's 1, here it's 2, here it's 3, here it's 4, until reach what? Tell me. The last index in the first line is 9. That's right, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Now for next line, the I value will become I value, not the element value. I is 10 until reach how much? 19. Okay? And for next line, I start from 20 until reach 29. Okay? So guys, see, this is the 10th element in the first line. Its index is 9. Here also 10th element. Its index is 19. Here its index is 29. Say it's 9 plus 1. Now 9 plus 1 is 10. 10 modulus to 10 equal to 0. That's right? Say 19, the index 19 plus 1, it will become 20. 20 modulus to 10, 0 also. Here same thing, say that plus 1, 21, 29 plus 1, it's 30. 30 modulus to 10, it's 0 also. That means we can say that print the element here, see, in child, print element, and say that if the current value of I, if the current value of I plus 1, okay, modulus to 10 divisible by 10, that means equal to 0. If this is true, that means we are in the 10th position. Just print what? Go to next line. That's it. You understand this idea, guys?
Yes.
See, the first element, these are the elements, and the others are the index. Okay? See, the last element in the first line index is 9. 9 plus 1, 10. 10 modulus 10, see? 10 modulus to 10 equal to 0. That means we are in the 10th. Print /n. And here we have if statement. Then go print the second one, third one. Now see, guys, I equal to 0. I less than 25, yes. The element alpha of 0 equal 0 to the power 2, which is 0. Else not valid here. Print the 0. Then check, is I plus 1, which is 1, modulus to 10 equal to 0? No. Don't print /n. Then go to next. Now when I reach 9, 9 plus 1, 10. 10 modulus to 10 equal to 0, yes. Print next line. When I equal 19, 19 plus 1, 20. Modulus to 10, 0, yes. Print /n, and so on, guys. Okay? Run the program again to show the result. See? Now, if you want to format the result in a good way, I prefer not to use the distances like this. Okay? Say that -6, the field width 6 from left. Run the program to see the result. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 elements in each line. 10 elements in each line. Okay? So, see, the index here is 9. Index for this one, 19. Index for this one, 29. For this one, 39. For this one, 49. This is why I added 1 here. I plus 1 modulus to 10 equal to 0. That means we are in this position and this position. Print, go to next line. Clear, guys?
Yes.